Christians will frequently talk about God being just, and they often speak of that justice as if it's something to which God must bow down, as if this justice is his master, which is strange when speaking about an all-powerful being. This is usually the justification for the crucifixion. In a recent video of mine, evangelical Todd Friel said that God couldn't simply forgive our sins because that would be unjust. So instead of simply forgiving us like any sane, decent person would do, God, needing to exact justice for our sins, sent his son/self to earth to pay for our missteps. He did this by dying. In Christian theology, the wages of sin is death, so having never sinned himself, Jesus was immune to death. His willing submission to the Grim Reaper allowed God to dump all of our sins onto him. He picks up the tab for all of us, if you will. This raises a number of questions, though. First of all, if Jesus had to die to save us from our sins, why did he have to die in such a brutal, horrific manner? I mean, if Jesus is God, couldn't he have just chosen to die at any moment of, say, natural causes? Or couldn't he have just jumped off a cliff or something? Maybe overdosed on some spectacular drug, complete with a really freaky trip on the way out? And if Jesus' death is the price paid for our sins, why does Jesus get to live again? I mean, if I pay $100 for a nice jacket on Friday with a personal check, and then I cause that check to bounce on Sunday morning, am I entitled to keep the jacket? If the wages of sin is death, and Jesus is no longer dead, how is it that we're all still covered? Especially when people continue to sin. Not me, of course, but other people. You probably. But let's get back to that idea of justice, because that's the whole reason God can't forgive us in the first place. Requiring this incredibly convoluted program, which really does seem to be the plan of an all-knowing super being rather than stupid humans making it up as they go along. According to Christians, even the slightest bit of sin, even original sin, the sin we're all supposedly tainted with and never even incurred ourselves, requires the so-called justice of eternal suffering. This is why in many Christian religions, babies need to be baptized. They haven't done anything wrong or sinned per se. They can't murder anyone, bear false witness, or look at their mothers with lust in their hearts. But they are stained with the sin of Adam and Eve, which again, according to Christianity, makes them worthy of eternal torment. But here's another thing which makes absolutely no sense to me in terms of justice. Each and every one of us supposedly deserves a temporally infinite punishment, both for the sin of Adam and for our own personal sins, myself excluded, of course. Those sins also make us worthy of death. Right now, there are more than 7 billion sinners on the planet. Forgetting everyone who's ever lived before, that's a minimum of 7 billion times infinity, which is, let's see, 7 times infinity, carry the 1. I guess that would still be infinity. The point is, how does a couple hours hanging on a cross and a 36-hour dirt nap cover all those temporal infinities? In terms of time, infinity is like really long, almost as long as an M. Night Shyamalan movie. We're looking at maybe 40 hours tops for Jesus, including his suffering on the cross and the dirt nap. That covers an infinitude of suffering? 7 billion infinitudes? How is that just? But even more puzzling is the idea of an all-knowing, all-loving God who still hasn't learned the supremacy of love, compassion, empathy, and forgiveness. More puzzling is the idea of a God so petty, he'll not only punish us for our shortcomings, of which he has complete understanding, but do so in the most unjust way, requiring that we suffer forever for our momentary lapses of judgment. In the course of my life, I've forgiven untold numbers of people who've done me wrong, all without even thinking of requiring my pound of flesh. Apparently, that's about as ungodly as it gets. Once again, I'm me. Thanks for watching.